Welcome back to Podcast Rockstars, the show that helps business leaders become podcast legends. I'm your host, Dawn Lidwell, and in this episode, I share some of the biggest mistakes we've seen new podcasters make and how to avoid them.
You're listening to Podcast Rockstars, the show helping business leaders become podcast legends. Now, here's your host, Dawn Lidwell.
Hey there, Rockstar. If you're thinking about launching a podcast this year, now is the time to start planning your vision, goals, and strategy for your show. Some of the things you should start asking yourself when planning your show are: how long do you want the episodes to be? What kind of content or topics will you cover in your show? What is your overarching goal for the show? Is it to promote your brand, create brand awareness, gain new clients? Will you interview guests on your show? Who would you love to interview? These are all great questions to help you get started, but how frequently you record and publish your episodes is just as important as who you interview. Possibly one of the biggest mistakes we've seen new podcasters make is a lack of consistency. Like any other form of content marketing, being consistent with your release schedule is absolutely critical for gaining traction and keeping your audience engaged and excited. As a podcaster and business owner, if you want to grow your audience, increase your brand awareness, and eventually monetize your show, you must be 100% committed to giving your audience what they want. And what they want is consistent, valuable, useful content. Listen, as a business owner and new podcaster, I get it. Podcasting takes a lot of time. It takes time to plan your content, schedule interviews, record each episode, edit your content, and promote your show. But consistency is the key to making any form of content marketing work and work well. It's the key to seeing the conversions that you want from your hard work. Another mistake that many podcasters make is trying to do everything themselves. This is especially true for solopreneurs and early-stage entrepreneurs that understand the value that podcasting brings, but feel they either can't afford to build a team or believe they can handle everything themselves. Learning how to handle some of these tasks yourself can sometimes be a good thing, but not always. Trying to do all the things often leads to burnout. And as we know, when we get burned out on something, we eventually decide to give up. I believe this is one of the reasons why so many podcasts fade out rather quickly. Instead of trying to do all the things, focus on one thing that you're great at, which is creating your content, and hire experts to hire the rest. The last mistake we see many new podcasters make is a failure to properly plan their content. Let me ask you, do you have a content calendar and strategy for your blog posts? How about your YouTube channel? What about your social media posts? As I mentioned before, once you decide to start a podcast, it becomes an important part of your content marketing strategy. Without a plan or strategy, how can you expect to succeed? So let's recap. There are 3 key mistakes that many new podcasters make. They are inconsistency, a do-it-all mindset, and no content strategy. In a future episode, we'll dive deeper into how to create a content strategy for your show, as well as some of the tasks you can outsource to save yourself some time producing your show. We'll also dive deeper into what pod fading means and how to avoid it. In the meantime, though, let's connect. Join our exclusive Podcast Rockstars Facebook group to connect with other podcasters, ask your most pressing questions, and share your success stories with our community. We'll include the link to our Facebook group in our show notes, so head over to lidwellwriting.com/002. We'd love to hear from you, learn from you, and grow with you as avid podcast fans and business owners. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to Podcast Rockstars, sponsored by Lidwell Writing Services, because a great podcast deserves great show notes. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Join our exclusive Podcast Rockstars Facebook community to connect with other podcasting legends. In the Facebook community, you can ask your most pressing questions and tell us who you would love to hear on the show. And if you're ready to experience the power of great show notes, contact Dawn at lidwellwriting.com.